All right, good morning. This video is going to be produced this morning to show everyone how to count offering at Our Savior's Lutheran Church. Some people learn a little bit better watching a video than reading instructions. So I'm going to go through what I think is every possible scenario, and I'll show you how to count loose offering, loose checks, and cash and checks and envelopes, how to write it out, how to fill out the deposit slip, and then that's it. So hopefully hopefully you guys find this video helpful, and we'll see how this goes. Thank you. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is come here in this drawer, open it up, and in it contains a little basket of goodies, which are green slips that we use for loose checks. And then we have our deposit slips in here. There's instructions in here, just in case I'm not clear enough on the video. And then there's these green slips, which we fill out for each service. So that's all in here. And then of course we have our deposit bag and the keys to not only lock the deposit bag, but also the master key for the nightly deposit box at Dakota Bank, which is where Our Savior's deposits are offering. So, okay, so get all this out, put it up here, and then we have some envelopes here, and so we'll go through each one and we'll show you how to fill it out. Okay, so we just, here's all the offering envelopes and some loose cash. So we just take the envelope, open it up, and we see that Mr. Lama made a $10 donation. And since this is a check, you just write the amount of the check, and then we put a check mark in the lower right-hand corner of your offering envelope. And then you can write, this one has Barnes County Food Pantry as its designation, so just write Barnes County Food Pantry right there, and that's it. And then set it off to the side. So the checks go to one side and the envelopes for the checks go next to it. Take out the next one, and Mrs. Fluffytail made a $500 check, so just write in the lower right hand corner 500 with a check mark because this is a check, and then add the check onto the other pile of checks and the check envelope onto the other pile of check envelopes. So there's no designation on the bottom of the check, so there's no reason to write anything here, it just goes to the general offering. So we'll put it back up in the pile. We'll take our next envelope, and this is $50 cash, and so on the envelope you just put 50 and then write C, or some people write cash, whatever way you want to do it. And then just have the cash right here and the cash envelope next to it, because they have to be in a different pile because they're wrote separately on the deposit slip, and we'll show you how to do that later. Here's another cash envelope, so 20 cash, and put the cash here and the cash envelope right there. And then some people forget to bring their offering envelopes like these, and so they put their offering in a white envelope that the church provides in the pew. And they usually write their name up there, so this is Mrs. Stewardship. Open it up, and this is another check, but looks like there's some fraud going on because it's a check from Mrs. Hufflepuff, even though that Mrs. Stewardship's on there. That's a little shady. Anyway, so put 15 in the corner and write check. And go like this. And here's the last envelope This is $100, and and do the check mark in the corner, and then this is a Sunday school designation, and so in other, just check this and write Sunday school, $100, and then put the check in the check pile for the check envelopes, and and the envelope in this pile. So in this case, here is a loose offering, and so, or a loose check. So what we do then is we take these green slips and we fill out the name. So Mr. Mustache. The amount of the check is $150, and Mr. Mustache wants to designate this to the missionary calendar. So missionary sponsorship check right there, and $150. So you can put this, since this is a check, put this in the check pile and just put the green slip on the same pile of check envelopes. And we keep the envelope separate, so when you get your summary at the end of the year for giving to the church, Brenda knows how to designate all the checks. So that's why we keep everything separate. Okay, and then for loose cash, we just keep loose cash separate from the envelope cash. And so we have $5, $6, $7, $8 of loose offering, and we'll put that right there to count. So the next step in the offering is we have all of this laid out. So the next step is we'll add it up. Okay, one more thing that we need to do, and I should have done this at the beginning, is during the week, the church gets offering from people who either mail it in or drop it off. So we have to open up, find the key, the short keys. There's 2 short keys on the keys, and there's 1 long one. The long one is for the deposit at the bank, and the 2 short ones are for each deposit bag. So find the correct key. That must not be the correct key. Open that up. Open that up, and then there's a brown envelope that should contain some more offering, if there is any, for the week, and then add, and they'll be just like these other ones, either checks, probably checks with check envelopes. Oh, what do you know? There's a few in here. So we have $20 a loose offering, which goes in the loose offering pile. Here's another 100 of loose offering, and then we have $20 that does not have an envelope. So again, because it doesn't have an envelope and it's a check, we grab a green slip and fill it out. So the Mrs. Grass amount of check is $20, and there's no designation down here for where it's going to go to, so it's just general fund. So we put the check up here in the pile of checks, and the green slip in this pile, and that's it. So now we'll add up everything and show you how to write the deposit slip, and we'll go from there. Okay, so here I have everything set up. The first thing we do is plug in the adding machine down here on the floor. And I turn this thing on to print because we run a tape. Because we run a tape on the adding machine for everything for Brenda and the bank. So next, so what I do is I take all of the green slips and the check envelopes, and I add up 20, 150, 100, 15, 500, and 10. And then I total it up. $795 right there is the total. And just to be safe, I add it one more time because you should always double check. So 20, 150, 100, 15, 500, and 10. $7.95. Total it up. So then what I do is on here is I write the time of the service, and then I put checks. So the time of the service and checks, and I put it on this pile. Then I take a paper clip, put it together, and there we go. And then I take the checks and I add these up as well as a triple check. 20, 150, 100, 15, 500, and 10. And that $795 right there adds up and is equal to the checks. So I know everything's good there. So then when you're done adding up the checks, you have to endorse them. So you just flip them over. And there we go. Our check is now endorsed to be deposited at the bank. And we do that for all the rest of them. There. So our checks are endorsed. Okay, so after we endorsed all the checks and we know what the amount is, which is $795, on this green summary offering report is green slips and envelope checks. So you simply just write $795 there. Okay. And then, so that's the check envelopes. And now we have the cash envelopes. So same thing as the checks. You just add up the amount in the bottom right hand corner. So 20 and 50 is $70. 20, 50, 70. So we'll write 8, 30, cash. Excuse me, 830 cash envelopes. Put a paper clip on it and put it on the pile of the checks that was already added up. And then so $70, and then you go back to your green offering report. Envelopes cash then is $70, and there's no coin. So you can just put NA or a slash through it, whichever one you decide to do. And then add up total from envelope. So $795 and 70 is $865. And then we add in the loose offering. So then we count up the loose offering. So we'll add up the cash. So the loose cash, 100. And then we have 20. And then we have 5 and 3. So $128. And we write 128 in the loose offering. And then add up the 865 and the 128. $993. So $993. So then you take your deposit slip and make sure that you're on you didn't skip one. So that was the previous day. You flip this open, you put this underneath here. I'm sure most people have already have filled out a deposit slip before, but just in case, just write the date up on top, 2/13/22, and so currency would be the adding of the envelope cash of 70 and the loose offering of 128. So $198 in cash, and we don't deposit coins, so put a slash through there. Total cash of 198. And then our total checks is $795. And we added that up earlier, 198 and 795 is 993. So just write 993 down at the bottom right hand corner. And of course, fill that out right there. And then we put 830 service written on the deposit slip. And we just tear that out and take the checks along with the cash, put it together with the deposit slip. Take your deposit bag right here, put it inside, put that thing all the way down to the end, flip it around, push it down. Now it is locked. It can't open up without a key. So then we take this over to Dakota Bank, obviously, with the large key. Open up the nightly deposit box in the drive-through, put it in the box, and now you're done. So simple as that. So at the end of the day, obviously we have the 8:30 service. You do it again for the 11 o'clock service. You'll add this up, and then you have a total at the end of the day. And then at the end, you just write, this report has been prepared by myself, and then whoever's with me. And then you just write today's date on there, 2/13/22, and that's it. And then you'll have the 8:30 service cash and envelopes here, and then you put the other service on the other side, and you can leave it here for Brenda. And then you put everything back in the basket, and then put it back in the drawer that we started from, and you're done. So thanks for taking the time, and good luck on filling everything out correctly.